Summary of the Spanish Tragedy by Thomas Kyd. The play begins when the ghost of Andrea enters, along with revenge. Don Andrea used to work as a courtier for Spain, but Balthazar, the son of the Viceroy of Portugal, killed him in battle. Once Andrea was finally allowed to cross the river Acheron into the afterlife, Proserpine, the goddess of fertility and agriculture and queen of the underworld, told Andrea's ghost to come back with revenge to see Balthazar's death at the hands of Bellimperia, Andrea's sad lover and the king of Spain's niece. At the start of the play, Balthazar is taken prisoner to the Spanish court by Lorenzo, who is Bellimperia's brother and the son of the Duke of Castile, and Horatio, who is the son of Hieronimo, who is Spain's knight marshal. Lorenzo wants credit for taking Balthazar's horse and guns, even though Horatio was the one who caught him. The king gives them both gifts. He promises Horatio Balthazar's ransom and gives Lorenzo his horse and guns. He also tells Castile to hold Balthazar at his farm. Bellimperia later asks Horatio to tell her about Andrea's death. Horatio tells her about the fight between Andrea and Balthazar, saying that Andrea was brave and strong. Following his capture of Balthazar, Horatio held Andrea's funeral and took her scarf, which he promised to wear in honor of her. Bellimperia gave Andrea the scarf before the war, so she knows it well. She asks Horatio to wear it in honor of both her and Andrea. It's official, Bellimperia is in love with Horatio. She calls him her second love, and she sees loving him as a way to get back at Balthazar, who has also said he loves her. Kings and nobles in Castile are already thinking about how a marriage between Bellimperia and Balthazar could bring Spain and Portugal together. However, Bellimperia makes it clear to Balthazar that she is not interested in him. Lorenzo tells Balthazar that Bellimperia will finally accept him, which makes him feel better. One night, Bellimperia tells her helper Pedringano to watch the garden gates while she talks to Horatio. But Pedringano betrays her and tells Lorenzo and Balthazar about the meeting. They come into the garden with Pedringano, who is dressed as someone else, and Balthazar's helper, Cerberine. He is hung from an arbor and stabbed to death by the men. Four attackers take Bellimperia away while Horatio's body hangs in the yard. Bellimperia yells for Hieronimo. His wife, Isabella, and him find their dead son in the yard and are sad about it. Hieronimo takes off Horatio's scarf and soaks it in his son's blood. He then swears to keep it until Horatio's death is revenged. Isabella tells Hieronimo to wait because getting payback is eventually God's job. It looks like Andrea's ghost is very angry. He is waiting for Balthazar to die, but he has already seen his best friend die and the love of his life being abused. Andrea is also told to wait by revenge. Balthazar's death will come soon enough. As the story in Spain goes on, there is also action in the Portuguese court. The Portuguese don't know what happened to Balthazar after Horatio takes him prisoner, and they think he may be dead. An important person from Portugal named Viluppo tells Balthazar's father, the Viceroy of Portugal, that Balthazar was shot in the back by another important person from Portugal named Alexandro. As soon as the Viceroy hears that Balthazar has died, he arrests Alexandro and gives him the death penalty. When the Portuguese ambassador comes back from Spain telling everyone that Balthazar is still alive, Viluppo admits that he lied to get attention and glory. Viluppo is tortured and killed for betraying the Viceroy, who then frees Alexandro by saying sorry and giving him a public prize. As Hieronimo walks in, crying over Horatio's death, a letter from Bellimperia falls from the sky. The letter, which was written in blood, says that Lorenzo and Balthazar killed Horatio and begs Hieronimo to get payback. When Hieronimo runs into Pedringano and asks where Bellimperia is, Lorenzo tells him that Bellimperia has been sent away because of a disgrace. Hieronimo then sets out to show that Lorenzo and Balthazar killed his son. When Hieronimo leaves, Lorenzo is wary and thinks Cerberine has turned them in to Hieronimo. Lorenzo gives Pedringano money to kill Cerberine, but he makes plans for the police to catch Pedringano in the act. When Pedringano is put in jail for killing Cerberine, Lorenzo doesn't ask the king to forgive him, so he lets Pedringano hang. This kills everyone who knows that Lorenzo and Balthazar killed Horatio, except for Bellampiria. After Horatio's death, Isabella starts to go crazy, and when she kills herself in the yard where Horatio was killed, it looks like Hieronimo is also losing it. He says he will bring the murder of Horatio to the king's attention and use the law to get justice, but Lorenzo always gets in the way. Lorenzo informs the king that Hieronimo is losing his mind and only wants to steal Balthazar's bail money, which is Horatio's right. The king doesn't know that Horatio was killed and thinks that Hieronimo's complaints are just the mindless babbling of a crazy person. When Balthazar and Bellampiria's wedding is coming up, the Viceroy of Portugal comes to Spain. The King of Spain then asks Hieronimo, a famous poet and writer, to put on a play as entertainment. After getting Bellampiria's help, they are able to get both Lorenzo and Balthazar to agree to be in the play with them. Hieronimo says that the play is about a wedding between a Spanish knight and a beautiful Italian woman that ends in suicide and murder. In the play, Bellampiria stabs Balthazar and kills him, then she stabs herself. In the same way, Hieronimo kills Lorenzo, then admits that the deaths are real and runs off stage to hang himself. When Hieronimo is caught, he is threatened with torture if he doesn't confess again. To avoid being forced to talk, he bites off his own tongue. The Duke of Castile gives Hieronimo a pen and tells him to write down his confession. Hieronimo kills Castile with the pen and then kills himself with it. The ghost of Andrea and Revenge watch, happy that Lorenzo, Balthazar, Castile, Pedringano, and Cerberine have been killed. They will now all live in torture forever in the deepest hell. Andrea is happy in the heavens and meets Bellampiria, Horatio, Hieronimo, and Isabella.
About the author. Thomas Kyd was born in 1558 to Francis and Anna Kyd. In the late 1560s, Kyd enrolled in the Merchant Tailors' School. It is not known if Kyd ever attended university, but there is evidence to suggest that he worked as a scrivener for a short time. In the 1580s, Kyd found fame as a respected playwright whose talent rivaled that of William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. Like Kyd himself, little is known about his work. However, a handful of plays have been positively attributed to him, including the Spanish Tragedy, which was initially published anonymously. While the exact time during which the Spanish Tragedy was written is not known, it is suspected to have been written in the mid to late 1580s, with the earliest surviving edition printed in 1592. It is also known that Kyd wrote The Householder's Philosophy, a translation of Torquato Tasso's Italian play, Padre di Famiglia, in 1588, and in 1594, he published a translation of a French play by Robert Garnier entitled Cornelia. It is strongly suspected that Kyd was also the author of two other important Elizabethan plays, King Lear and the U.R. Hamlet, which were wildly popular in Kyd's day and served as the inspiration for Shakespeare's King Lear and Hamlet, respectively. Kyd died in 1594 when he was just 35 years old.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.